Because the wages of sin is death. I said the wages of sin is death. No matter how you view it, it's death. And if you do it, it's death. Because the wages of sin is death. I said the wages of sin is death. No matter how you view it, it's death. And if you do it, it's death, death.
Yeah. I'm gonna open up with my favorite scripture.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
So we're going to get understanding tonight on the lake of fire. And the 2/3. This is going to be a semi-long lesson, so we're going to do part 2 Thursday if the Most High spare our life. Thursday. Next Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Next Tuesday. We ain't going to do it on the Sabbath.
Okay.
We're going to talk about something else on the Sabbath. So next Tuesday, we will actually go into part 2, which will be about the 2/3. How many know what's going to happen to the 2/3 after everything is said and done? Is that going to be the end of them? They're going to be no more?
That's a good question.
Because we talk about the 2/3, we're like, oh, they're going to be put to death, the Lord going to cast them away. Yeah, that's true. But what is going to happen to them after everything said and done?
Let me ask this question. Does regeneration come into this?
Exactly.
So, sorry, how does regeneration come to this when this is our last, rehearsal?
Okay, this is our last captivity. After everything is said and done, right?
Yeah.
We get the kingdom, right?
Right.
Okay, the Lord said we're going to multiply in the kingdom, right? Where those spirits coming from?
Oh, they're 4.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. So where are the 2/3 spirits going to be coming from when we generate and have kids in the kingdom? So that's why it's going to be a 2-part lesson. So we're going to get the understanding on the lake of fire tonight. And next Tuesday, Lord spare our life, we'll get the understanding on what's going to happen to the 2/3 in the kingdom. Because whether you believe it or not, they will be back. So, Zechariah 13:7.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7. Oh, Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Start at verse 7 one more time.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd.
Who is the Lord's sword in this context right here?
Esau.
You say Israel? No.
No, so that was Esau.
That was Esau. How do we know that? Stop. Psalms chapter 17, verse 13.
Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. Okay. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked.
From the who?
From the wicked.
From the who?
From the wicked,
Which is what?
which is thy sword.
Because the Lord uses Esau as his sword to chastise us and the other nations. Read it again.
Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Who is the wicked? Job 9:24 will tell you who the wicked is. Con, go back to Zechariah 13:7.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7. Awake, O sword.
So he's saying, awake, Edomites. Read.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd.
Against who?
Against my shepherd.
Who is the shepherd?
Y'all try Christ?
You say Christ?
Yes.
Okay, who you say? You say Christ? What you say? You say Israel? Everything Israel tonight, huh? So both of you guys are correct. Christ is the shepherd. How do we know that? Drop what you hold. John chapter 10 and verse 1.
John
Start at 11.
chapter 10, verse 11.
Straight to the point.
John chapter 10, verse 11.
Con.
I am the good shepherd.
What Christ say?
I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
The good shepherd do what?
Giveth his life for the sheep.
Okay, now go back to Zechariah 13 and 7.
It says, awake, O sword, against my shepherd.
So he's saying, awake, O sword, against my shepherd, meaning the Lord put these spirits into the Edomites, and they rose up and killed Yahushua. We gave them up, but the Edomites, aka Romans, put him to death. Y'all understand? Read it from the top.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd.
Kill the shepherd. Read.
Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones.
Now, on a small level, the sheep's being scattered was the apostles. After Christ was betrayed by Judas, given up to the Romans, the sheep's scattered out. It got so bad to the top apostle cussed them out when they accused him for being with Christ. Matthew chapter 26.
Matthew chapter 26 and what?
56.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 56. Matthew chapter 26, verse 56.
Con.
But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
All the disciples did what?
Forsook him and fled.
Now go back to Zechariah 13 and 7.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones.
Now who are the little ones? I'm going to give somebody a chance to answer this question. Sis. Who are the little ones? Israel. I know Israel was going to be one good answer tonight. So you kill Yahushua on a smaller level, the 12 disciples, they scattered. On a larger level, the little ones, us Israelites, we scattered throughout all four corners of the earth. Now, by us being scattered through all four corners of the earth, what did he say in verse 8?
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Shall be what?
Cut off and die. But the third shall be left therein.
Read.
And I will bring the third part through the fire.
Right now we going through the fire right now. The elect. Through the trial, tribulation. You may be going through tribulation and fire with your significant other, or your kids, or your relatives, or your job. Bills to pay. Don't know how you're going to pay them. These are tribulations. You're being tried in the fire. Read.
And will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried.
Because when you make gold, gold is like black copper. When you first look at gold, you have to put it through so much fire to get all that zinc and copper and silver that's off of it. The element, the zinc, all that, you want it off. You want pure gold. So you got to put it through fire maybe 2 or 3 times. So the Lord will put you through some hard situations more than one time. Read.
They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
From now, Revelation chapter 20, verse 15.
Revelations chapter 20, verse 15. Okay. Huh? And whosoever was not found written in the book of life.
Now, what is the book of life? We went over that. What's the book of life? What it contains?
What about the law, statutes, and commandments?
No.
Excuse me, the list of those that are, excuse me, the elect.
The devil ain't want you to get that out, did he? What you say?
It's the list of those, the elect, all the Israelites, so to speak.
All praises. That's exactly what the book of life is. The names of the elect. At the end of the day, when you sin against the Most High, your name gets blotted out of the book of life. And at the end of the day, the elect, the 1/3 name will be in that book of life. That's why he said, verse 15.
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
You was cast into the lake of fire. And that's where they get this terminology, or you going to hell. You been a bad boy, or you been a bad girl on the earth, you going to hell. You're going to die, and you're going to bust hell wide open. But that's not true.
Let me ask a question
Yes.
now. So you say when a person sins against the Most High, that the name is blotted out. Now, that could be any of us.
Right.
So, to be redeemed, is the name added back in there?
We all sinned against the Most High. But we did what?
Repented.
We repented.
Okay.
The ones who sin and don't repent, the name get blotted out.
Okay. All right.
You understand? Okay. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10.
This lake of fire is, you're going to be on top of the firmament, Israel, in the chariot, looking down. Have you ever seen the wildfires in California from an aerial view? Anybody?
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw it on YouTube.
You saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Have you seen it from a helicopter view though?
No.
I wish the computer was up. But read that.
2 Peter, what now?
3 and 10.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10.
This is that lake of fire, Israel.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
That great noise is the Lord coming back with that sound of that trumpet, all them chariots, and the Lord just blowing stuff up with fire and brimstones. Read.
With a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
What?
The elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Read.
The earth also and the works therein that are therein shall be burned up.
Read.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness,
Read.
looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's that lake of fire. When you hear that voice say, come up hither, and you get caught up in that chariot, and the Lord has got you above the firmament. The firmament is what you go outside and look up, you can't see that molten looking glass. It's invisible. It's transparent, but it's strong. That's why John said this in Revelation 15:1.
Revelation chapter 15, verse 1.
Fine.
And I saw another sign in the heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of God.
Meaning complete destruction. They ain't holding nothing back. They giving everything they got. Read.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass.
He saw what?
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire.
Mingle with what?
Fire.
What John is describing, Israel, is you in the chariot looking down on the planet Earth on fire. That firmament is clear, transparent. You can see straight through it. We're going to be able to see straight through the firmament and see the heavens, everything in this planet Earth on fire. He's not coming back to pass out Skittles and cotton candy and give you gift certificates. And let's play hopscotch and double dutch and merry-go-round. That's not happening.
And hugs.
And hugs and kisses. And little white angels with wings and half naked. Get that out your imagery. Stop thinking like that. That's Christianity. Read from the top.
Revelation chapter 15, verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of God. Filled up the wrath of God. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast.
Who is them that got the victory over the beast? The beast is America. How we get the victory? Because we didn't accept his philosophies and his doctrines. And that watered down gospel that we was into 20 and 30 years ago on the pulpit shaking tambourines. Read.
And the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass.
Stand where?
On the sea of glass.
You're going to be standing on the firmament in your chariot, watching all this destruction. And the mind state you're going to have, you're going to be like them that dream. Psalms 126, verse 1.
Psalms 126, verse 1.
Fine.
When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream.
That what?
That dream.
That dream. We was like them that dream. Man, I dreamed Esau had me working 5 days a week 10 hours a day. You had that dream too. I had a dream. He had me all the way up there in Brooksville, man. Walking the highway, getting the longitude and latitude numbers for him. Read.
Then was our mouth filled with laughter.
Filled with what?
Laughter.
We gonna be laughing too.
Oh man, he didn't do that ever.
Boy, that was a bad dream, boy. Read.
And our tongue was singing.
Our tongue with what?
Singing.
With what?
With singing.
This is what you just read in Revelation 15:1. Go back to it.
Revelations chapter 15, verse 1.
Start at 2.
2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God.
You having harps is for what? That's a musical instrument. That's why verse 3 tell you what?
And they sang the song of Moses.
We did what?
And they sang the song of Moses.
We sung the song of Moses. That's the song we're going to be singing. The song of war, destruction. Kill them, Lord. Don't play around with them. Get them. Sick them, boy. From there, let me get Job 37:18. Some may say, well, how do you know that's the sea is a molten looking glass? Well, the sea is the firmament. Why he keep saying that? Well, when you go to the book of Job is a book put in the Bible by the Most High to give you deeper understanding on other books, like Genesis, Revelation, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Read that.
Job chapter 37, verse 18. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong?
Which is what?
Which is strong.
That firmament is strong, so don't think Esau done cracked that firmament and went out to space. Get that out your mind. They never went out into space. They cannot crack that dome. Yeah, they may have tried to crack the dome. Yeah, they set their nest among the stars. But when you read the Bible tells you that the stars are inside the firmament. When you go outside that firmament, that's water. That's why the sky blue. Read it from the top.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong?
Which is what?
Which is strong.
No, it's weak. Esau can penetrate it.
Which is strong.
Read.
And as a molten looking glass. Teach us what we shall say unto him.
As a molten looking glass. You got iPhones, you got iPads. Pull up molten looking glass on Google and see what come up.
Yes.
Anybody. The computer not working right now, so we can pull it up. Molten looking glass and see what come up.
You mean under
Anything, Google, molten looking glass. You see the
okay,
image?
yeah. Put molten looking glass in there and the dome comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all see that?
That's interesting. So
This
they
is-
already know that.
This is the firmament. This is that sea of glass that the Most High separated the waters from the waters. They can't penetrate that glass. It's transparent.
So they didn't go on the moon?
They never went on no moon. You believe that if you want to. Yes.
Also, along that same line, being in the Navy, when you go out to sea, when the sea is totally calm, it looks just like a sheet of glass, literally.
Separated the waters from the waters. The waters up there look just like the waters down here.
Come.
We just been indoctrinated with Esau philosophy so much, we think the sun is 93 million miles away. And you can ride down the highway when the sun going down and see clouds in front of the sun and clouds behind the sun. How is that possible?
If it's 93 million.
If it's 93 million miles away.
Also, if you've been in an airplane when it's cloudy and you're above the clouds and the sun does look like it's like
Right now.
right there, it doesn't seem like it's that far away.
All praise.
I know they,
Two things. My aunt, she lived to be over 100, and we would laugh at her when we didn't know any better because she'd look at it, she said, "Man, ain't been to no moon."
My grandma said the same thing.
I mean, she knew more than what we thought she knew. She was adamant about that. She said, "They're just playing with y'all. Man has never been to the moon." And then as far as where the sun is placed, today we were reading one of the myths of the Greek, and they were talking about flying up to the sun. Even in Greek mythology, they knew that the sun was not that far away.
That's right.
They knew that in the fable that the young man flew up and got too close to the sun. If the sun was that far away, there's no way he would have been able to fly up close, in the
Right.
story.
93 million miles away.
Right, and the teacher was trying to get them, oh, it was just a myth, and da-da-da-da-da. No, they knew more than what we give people credit for in that story. They knew the sun was not that far away.
All praise.
you know, there's a YouTube video that shows a plane flying through the sun. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I
You saw it,
that,
right?
yeah, I saw
You
it.
could bring that up on your phone and it actually shows the plane actually flying through the sun. And planes fly at 35,000 feet or so. That's only like, what, 5-6 miles? You're not talking about a long ways up there.
Well, the video I saw, it didn't look like, that wasn't a plane. It almost like it was on one of those iPhones, or so-called UFOs. Yeah, no, that's the video I saw.
Revelation 15 and that 2.
Revelations chapter 15 verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God.
Now, what's going to happen to the ones that don't get the victory? That accepted the philosophies and the doctrines of the beast? What's going to happen to them?
Well, they're going to be burnt with the beast.
They're going to be what?
Well, destroyed with the beast.
All praises. Revelation 14 and 10.
Revelations chapter 14 verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine.
Start at 9.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand,
What's going to happen?
the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture.
Hey, listen, this wrath that he finna pour out, this indignation that he finna pour out, it ain't finna be watered down.
What thing?
Man, let me get something to drink. You get the drink, you're supposed to have some cognac, but it tastes straight like water. Water and ginger ale. No, the Most High gonna give you pure indignation. Read.
The mixture, the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire.
He gonna be what?
Tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
See that? So when he come back with all the host of heaven, you're gonna be tormented, burnt up in the brimstones and fire. You're gonna be killed in them nukes. In them laser beams coming from the chariots of the Most High. You ain't going down in no lake of fire underneath hell where somebody torment you with a pitchfork all the days of your life. They told me you're going to be in hell, you're going to grow flesh and burn off and grow new flesh. What? I believed it too. Revelation, Psalms 11 and 5.
Psalms 11 and 5.
Psalms 11.
Psalms 11 and 5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall rain snare.
Say what?
Upon the wicked he shall rain snare.
If something is raining, where it's coming from?
Sky.
It's coming from the sky. So the Lord said he's going to rain snares of what?
Snare, fire and brimstone.
What?
Fire and brimstone.
This is that lake of fire. All the prophets talked about it. The same thing he burnt with Sodom and Gomorrah, them fire and brimstones, he gonna burn this Sodom and Gomorrah. Spiritually, that is. Read.
Fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup.
This is that's your lot. The 2/3, Esau and the other nation. This is your lot. This is your judgment. Ain't nothing I can do about it. From there, Isaiah 66 and 15.
Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15.
Growing up in the Christian church, I can't wait to die, be caught up in the sky with the Lord all day and reign with him forever. I'm gonna walk around heaven in my glass shoe, gold shoes, sleep on King Solomon's bed,
Sit down and rest a little while.
sit down and rest a little while. The Lord coming back with a whole bunch of gift certificates. He be giving out car loans and everything. He gonna give you HUD houses. Well, let's see what he gonna do.
65 and
66 and 15.
66 and 15.
God.
Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire.
No, man, he gonna come with jelly beans.
With fire. He will come with fire. And with chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
With the what?
With flames of fire.
Read.
For by fire and by the sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
And the what?
The slain of the Lord shall be many.
Read.
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree, in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Eating what?
Swine's flesh.
Mama, you can't cook that pork and bacon no more, mama. Boy, that stuff is good. Everything God made is good. Just pray over it. Christ put that on the cross. 2 months later, got it. High blood pressure.
You know, I heard a preacher preach a sermon on just pray over everything. You know, the vision Peter had with all of the different ones. He preached the whole sermon on that.
I bet he
He
did.
said right after that he was going to eat him some pork.
I bet he was.
You know what I'm talking about, you know.
It's a shame, brother. Job chapter 18, verse 15.
Job chapter 18 verse 15. Right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Job 18:15.
Job chapter 18 verse 15.
God.
It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone.
What?
Brimstone.
What?
Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation.
See, all the prophets talked about these brimstones in this lake of fire. Every last one of them. We just believe dumb Esau to make us believe that hell is underneath us. And the devil got a long tail with a pick for it, and he gonna come around and got you in a 3x5 cage and torment you all day long.
Red suit on.
With a red suit on. And he got a wife. He used to tell me it's raining and the sun outside. Boy, the devil beating his wife down there, boy. This is crazy, man. From there, let me get Malachi, man. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. Huh? For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven.
It's going to do what?
Burn as an oven.
Read.
And all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Shall be what?
Stubble.
Read.
And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts.
Shall do what?
Shall burn them up.
Now put them in the cooling fan.
Burn them up,
Read.
saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
That's that fire and brimstones, man. All the prophets talked about this. And the day is coming. Y'all heard what the elders just said about Turkey in the United States. The Lord is preparing all these nations for war. We ain't got that much longer. War about the boys is coming. From there, Revelation chapter 19.
Revelations chapter 19.
20.
Revelations chapter 19, verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet.
The who?
And with him the false prophet.
T.D. Jakes. And that preacher that said it's okay to eat pork. Because he got the understanding of Peter's vision about Cornelius and the other two Northern Kingdom brothers. He talking about some men that's unclean. This man, the preacher says food. To justify that ham sandwich with mustard on it.
Yeah.
It used to be good now, especially when you burn it kind of burn it a little bit. Yeah.
Some cheese on it.
Read that. 1920.
I forgot where I was. Revelation chapter 19, verse 20. And the beast was, right?
Yep.
Okay. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image.
What's going to happen to him?
These both were cast alive.
Wait a minute. You're reading too fast. Read.
These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Now, hell is you die, go to heaven, get judged by Yahweh Shah, all the angels, the top apostle Peter at the gate. When you get your judgment, he hit the level. Ching-ching. You fall back and go down to hell. But the Bible just said that the beast and the false prophet is going to be cast into the lake of fire alive. You're going to be breathing, live in the flesh, where Christ cracked that firmament. And you're going to be caught out there. That's that lake of fire, you being cast alive inside that lake of fire. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. He talked about it too.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 and what now?
1.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 1. Huh? And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all waters, waves thereof.
We talked about that earlier. Christ's going to come from the sea, the firmament, the waters. That's waters up there. He's going to come from there. Read.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
And he come with so many angels, man. Read.
And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
Everything that's under Yahushua in that chariot gonna be burnt up. Read.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice.
Read.
Like as the earth faileth when it fleeth the fire.
Read.
And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of heaven.
Because Christ's going to make his return at the peak of World War III. When all nations is fighting each other, Christ will make his return at the peak of that. And they will stop fighting each other to fight him. But what's going to happen?
To subdue the man that came out of the sea.
Because he's going to come up out the sea, meaning the heavens, and they're going to, man, what's going on? No, we got to stop him. Read.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain.
What is this great mountain?
Zion.
No.
Mount.
No. Anybody else?
America.
What'd you say?
America.
No. This great mountain is what we know as, what Esau taught us as the mothership, but it's the fathership. This UFO chariot that's Christ going to be in, fathership, is going to be so huge that Edra said, man, look, he had to look around to see if a mountain was actually gone. That's how big the ship is. Read.
And let's see, a great mountain, and flew up upon it.
He flew up upon it. That's that chariot. Read.
But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid.
And then they gonna be out their mind, so scared, but they still gonna be trying to fight it. And he gonna be like 6'9", eyes red. He gonna be turned up. He got all that anger that he remember what they did to him, piercing and all that. And they talking about he coming back with love and Skittles and cupcakes. Read.
Yet just fight. That was, do you want me to read 8 again?
No, yeah, read 8 one time.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet just fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
But how did he kill him?
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire.
That he's shooting them laser beams at him. Pew, pew. Read.
And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived.
That's why Isaiah 66:15 that tell you that the slain of the Lord shall be many. He gonna kill all them people, man. And us too, if we don't repent. From there, let me get Songs of the Three Holy Children. We don't go into that book that much. But let's see what hell is. Let's see if hell is up underneath the fire. Anybody know the background of the Songs of the Three Holy Children? Who are they actually? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We always say they Babylonian names. The same thing they was doing back then, they doing now. They changed our names, they changed their name. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wasn't their name. Read that, verse 65.
The three holy children, verse 65. O ye holy and humble men of heart, bless ye the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, bless ye the...
Oh, who?
O Ananias,
These are their real names for the ones who don't know.
Azarias, and Mishael, bless ye the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. For he has delivered us from hell.
From where?
From hell.
From where?
From hell.
Now, did they literally go to hell? Where did the Lord deliver them from? From the what? From the fiery furnace. This is the lake of fire. That fiery furnace that's going to be when he cracked that sky. Read.
And saved us from the hand of death, and delivered us out of the midst of the furnace, and the burning flame, even out of the midst of the fire hath he delivered us.
So I just want to let y'all know that hell don't mean you underneath the ground. That means fire and brimstones.
So now the spiritual meaning on the fiery furnace is actually this rather than a literal fiery furnace.
They went through a literally fiery furnace. You understand that, right?
Okay.
So them brimstones in that lake of fire is going to be a literally furnace.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that?
Okay.
The same thing that he did to them, he's going to do to his elect. Deliver us.
Mm-hmm.
That's us standing on the firmament, looking through that sea of glass with John sees.
Mm-hmm.
From there, let me get Jude, verse 7. It's only one chapter. I just want verse 7.
Jude chapter 1 verse 7.
How many people know what ancient Sodom and Gomorrah is today? Well, where is it today?
It's the southern part of Israel, going in towards Egypt.
Going into Egypt. So if you go in that, you get a ticket. Well, let me ask you something. How you got over there?
I went there when I went for weeks of Passover last year.
By what way of transportation?
Took a bus.
You took a bus.
Yeah.
Okay, but how did you get to that country over there?
Well, it's,
You took a bus?
it's still in part, like I said, it's in the southern part of Israel.
Okay.
And we took a tour bus, but as far as walking around there, you have to walk around as far as to get to certain areas.
Okay, let me say it like this. That's the Eastern Hemisphere, right?
Yes.
Okay, you was on the Western Hemisphere, right?
I understand.
You was on the Western Hemisphere before you went over there, right?
Oh, yeah.
How did you get from the west to the east? A bus?
No,
You flew, right? Read that.
What am I reading?
Jude 1 and 7.
Jude chapter 1 verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah.
Even as what?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Read.
And the cities about them in like manner.
And the cities that was round about,
Giving themselves over to fornication.
because everybody was homosexualities around there, even the little kids.
And going after strange flesh.
They was going after strange flesh. They wanted the same sex, not the opposite sex, but the same sex and animals.
And going after strange flesh, and set forth for an example, suffering vengeance of eternal fire.
Now, they set for an example, vengeance of what kind of fire?
Of an eternal fire.
What kind of fire?
Eternal fire.
That means it's supposed to still be going on when he went over there. That fire still supposed to be lit. When he went over there, he supposed to told that pilot, can you turn down the air conditioning? Because that fire over Sodom and Gomorrah is reaching up here to this airplane. Turn it down. It's too hot. It's exaggerated. Y'all understand? Read it again.
even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, and set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Is the fire still going on over there?
Nope.
So what did the Lord mean by eternal? It's slang talk. The Bible written by us, Israel, we got slang talk. You know how you tell somebody, man, how long you been over here? Oh, I've been over here a minute, man. You literally been over there a minute. No, it's exaggerated. The Bible is written by us. Slang talk, all the way from the time of Genesis. Oh man, you a snake. You literally talking about a snake? No, we talk about the attributes of a person. You sneaky, you cunning, you deceiving. You understand?
Gone.
Symbolic, hip talk. From there, let me get Luke chapter 16, verse 19.
Luke chapter 16, verse 19.
This is what the Christians, explain this right here for me then, brother. You say it ain't no hell, then what this mean, brother?
Luke chapter 16, verse 19. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores.
Now, who is this symbolic of?
Israel.
Israel and who?
The other nations.
Israel.
I say Esau.
Exactly. This is symbolic of Jacob and Esau from the top.
There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
Esau living good every day, man. If he don't want to get up and go to work in the morning, he can go get on his yacht. He call you to go over there and make that happen. Read.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus,
That's us, Israel. Read.
which was laid at his gate full of sores,
Read.
and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Man, give me $16 an hour, $17 an hour, $8 an hour. That's the crumbs from the rich man's table. $30 an hour, $20 an hour. That's the crumbs. Read.
Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
The dogs came and licked Lazarus' soul, meaning the other nation licked our soul, meaning the other nation helped further our affliction. Read.
And it came to pass that the beggar died.
The who?
The beggar died.
Read.
And was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom.
Into who bosom?
Abraham's bosom.
Who bosom?
Abraham's bosom.
Now check this. Read.
The rich man also died and was buried.
The rich man did what?
Died and was buried.
So both the rich man and Lazarus died, right? Read.
And in hell,
In where?
and in hell,
And where?
in hell, he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off.
See who?
Abraham afar off.
But he lifted up his eyes in hell. So you trying to tell me Abraham was in hell too? I thought Abraham was a friend of God. I thought Abraham was a righteous man. So how can Abraham be in hell too? Read.
And Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Read.
And he cried, and he said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue. For I am tormented in this flame.
He tormented in what?
In this flame.
In this what?
In this flame.
Symbolic, if exaggerated, Israel, letting you know that he just, man, I need some help in this condition. Some type of help. Read.
But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good thing.
No, Esau, you had it good in this side of the kingdom. You was living good. You ain't pay no taxes. You ain't pay no property taxes. IRS taxes. You ain't pay nothing. Look at your president. Read.
And likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted.
But now he's comforted. Why? Because the kingdom is at hand. We got the kingdom now. Now we comforted. And what about you, Esau?
And thou art tormented.
And you going to be tormented in hell, in captivity. And what else?
And besides all of this,
And besides all this, Esau,
between us
between us,
and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us.
so basically telling, man, you got your lot, I got my lot. Ain't nothing I can do for you, man. Nothing. Your lot is to be a servant in the kingdom of heaven. When I say jump, you say ha ha. When I say root, you look around and say who? Me. I want it all. Socks, shoes, and drawers. Everything belong to me. From there, let me get
Hey, Will, I
Yes,
got a
sir.
question on that. If you
Yes,
go
sir.
a little bit further in that scenario, when the rich man asked him to send back somebody for his brothers in his brother's house, right?
right.
They said nobody will listen to somebody from the dead. They have Moses and the prophets.
Right.
So if
Keep
that
reading, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading,
Yeah.
keep reading.
Where was I on
25.
25, go to 26. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment.
What Abraham said.
Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded.
Oh, they don't want to listen to the book. Don't think they're going to listen to you. Read.
Though one rose from the dead.
The what?
Though one rose from the dead.
So my question is, if that symbolized Esau, the book was never for Esau. So why would he send him back, saying the book, saying he had Moses and the prophets, but the book was never for Esau?
Say that again.
So how could that represent or symbolize Esau when the book was never for Esau?
Go back up to 19 right quick.
19.
Yep.
There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Mm-hmm.
And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me,
Okay.
and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water,
Okay.
and cool my tongue.
Right.
For I am tormented in this flame.
He are what?
Tormented in this flame.
Now stop. Job 11:6.
Done.
Job chapter 11 verse 6. And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom.
The secrets of what?
Of wisdom.
Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. He's going to show us a secret about the wisdom that what?
That they are double.
They are what?
Double.
They are what?
Double
Read.
to that which is.
Now, Adam and Eve had a son named Cain and Abel. Cain was taught the commandments. Did he follow the commandments? Yes or no?
No.
What did he do?
Killed his brother, right?
He what?
Killed his brother.
He killed his brother, right?
Yeah.
But the Lord told him if anybody else kill Cain, sevenfold shall come upon his head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did the Lord do to Cain? How did he mark him?
That's what brothers reading. Like, yeah, what is the mark of Cain?
He took his melanin away.
That's what I said.
That's why when Esau came back, he came back in the spirit of Cain with no melanin. So the law was given to him from the jump. He just rejected it. Hebrews 12 and 6.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6.
Fine.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scoureth every son whom he receiveth.
Read it again.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scoureth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
Y'all see that? The Lord was never dealing with Esau. Because he don't like chastisement. He don't like to be told what to do. They told him what wife to go get. Cain ain't go do that. Cain went to the east of the Garden of Eden. Straight down there what the cherubim was at. I'm going straight for you. From there, let me get Job chapter 3, verse 15.
Job chapter 3, verse 15.
Fine.
Or with the princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked ceased from troubling.
What?
There the wicked ceased from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together.
Someone explain that to me, right quick. Anybody? Read it again.
Where would you start on 16?
Yeah.
Or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been as infants which never saw light. There the wicked ceased from troubling.
Where is the there? He said there, in that place, the wicked ceased from troubling. So what is there? What is that place? Anybody?
What, in the kingdom? Or Jerusalem? Or in the kingdom?
No. No. What, Jerusalem? No.
Torments, right?
Huh?
Place where they tormented.
No. Anybody else?
Don't tell us.
The kingdom.
The kingdom? No, that's the spirit world.
Oh.
All spirits go back to the Most High God. All spirits, whether you Edom, Ammon, Hittite, Israelite, it don't matter. Your spirit go back to the Most High God.
I know you gave a scripture one time about on the left side and the right side that bad spirits are over here and the good spirits are here,
Right.
but they're with God,
Right.
petitioning.
Those are the angels. The
Angels.
angels. You got good angels, bad angels. But we're talking about the spirits
Oh, okay.
of mankind. Once your spirit die, it go back to the Most High in a holding cell. It goes with that generation. Each generation has a holding cell for it. That's why Ecclesiastes tell you that one generation come, one generation go. Y'all understand? Ecclesiastes 12 and 7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7.
Yeah.
Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Because when you die, you put it in the grave, your body decay, your flesh go back to the dust. But what happened to your spirit?
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
What?
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
So your spirit goes back to the Most High. Your spirit don't go to the Most High and you get judged and Peter opened the gavel and you back in hell and now you tormented. No, your spirit go up there and the Lord will have you in that holy cell and put your spirit back in her body and he can judge you in the womb. That's why you got babies coming out deformed, babies coming out dead at birth. The Lord is judging them for their prior life. Last scripture, Revelation 20:14.
Revelations.
If it was a hair underneath the ground, Israel, tell me how can this happen?
Revelation.
What was the last one? Ecclesiastes, what again?
12 and 7.
12 and 17.
Revelations what now?
20 and 14.
Revelations 20, verse 14.
Gone.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
So how can you literally pick up hair and cast it into the lake of fire? I thought hair was a lake of fire.
Hell is a condition. Hell is a condition.
It's three forms of hair. It's condition, it's the hair of fire, and you got hair the grave. That's hair too. When you in the grave, that's hair. But here's the condition. Revelation 6 and 8 and close it out.
I got one scripture I want to
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ask you. Ezekiel 18 and 4.
Ezekiel.
18 and 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gone.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm trying to-
Okay. Come, Israel.
Uh,
Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
now what that means? All souls of the Father, they go back. So he said the soul of the sinner shall die.
Mhm.
So how does that soul die?
How does that soul?
Yeah, die. How does it? It's done with. So
Proverbs 21 and 16.
Proverbs 21, verse 16. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
Read it again.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
Read it one more time.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So this is how you die. You wander out of the way of understanding, you're going to remain in the congregation of the dead. I got one more scripture to back that up. Let me find it right quick. In Revelation 11 and 11.
Revelation 11, verse 11.
Gone.
And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
Their what?
Any enemies beheld them.
Now go back to Ezekiel 18 and 4 and go to verse 20.
what was that he just read?
That was
Revelation 11 and 11. Ezekiel 18 and 20. When we get it?
Yeah.
Come, Israel.
Gone.
We'll start at 18. As for his fathers, because he is cruelly oppressed, spoiled his brother by violence, meaning Esau and Jacob, and did that which is not good among his people. Lo, even he shall die in his iniquity. Yet say ye, why doeth not the Son bear the iniquity of the Father? When the Son have done that which is lawful and right, and have kept all my statutes, and have done them, he shall surely live. Those who remain out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. The soul that sinneth shall die. The Son shall not bear the iniquity of the Father, neither shall the Father bear the iniquity of the Son. The righteous of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him.
God. So that means that soul don't come back then if it dies, right?
Say that again?
That means that soul does not come back on the earth. That sin, that soul, if it dies, it don't come back on earth then, right?
Say if you wicked, you die, you go back to earth.
You go back
right?
to the Father, yeah.
You go back to the Father, right? The Father can immediately send you right back.
But it just said that soul dies.
The soul that sinneth, it shall die. You die, meaning we die every day. You understand?
Okay, so it's not actually talking about the soul that's in us.
We ain't talking about the
It's
soul.
talking about the like this physical, this realm we're in right now.
That we in now.
Okay.
You die, you go back, the Lord will send you back. Now you in a whole nother body, can't even see.
Okay. You don't remember your past
But
life.
you don't
or nothing,
remember
yeah.
that past life. You wonder, you saying, dang, that baby ain't did nothing to nobody. Man, that baby was wicked as hell.
And that's what the disciples were talking about with that blind man. They asked him, what was this man sin? But Christ said, no, he didn't sin. He was made manifest so I can show my glory.
Exactly.
So the disciples knew that God sent you back jacked up if you sinned in a prior life.
Exactly. Just like we knew that the sun was 93 million miles away too. We knew the hell was underneath the ground, burning with forks and knives and torment. Hell was the grave to us.
Yeah.
You understand? We knew those things back then. Any questions, Israel? Any questions?
So a lot of us here, we're learning the knowledge of the law and the commandments who are wicked. Chances are we weren't wicked in our past life.
Say that again.
Well, those of us who have been awakened right now, who are having the knowledge of the law and the commandments,
Right.
who are rehearsing righteously.
Right.
Chances are our past life we weren't wicked.
Right. That's why you back in the truth now.
Back in the truth again.
You coming back to your original life before he cracked that from you. But whether we believe it or not, this is the last generation. So everybody's coming back to their original life. The parent with Lazarus and the rich man. Besides, it's a great gulf fix between you and I. You in your lot, I'm in my lot. You coming back to your original lot, they going back to their original lot. That's why they can't accept the word. Any more questions? Jared? No question?
No God.
Yes. Father, help me stay on track like these vocals I am laying down. Help me win this race so I'll receive the crown that will last forever like your holy word. Christ is the way and you are who we serve. Them demons sending gifts trying to make me slip. Had me living on the edge, hanging off a cliff. No safety net to catch me if I fail. If Christ ain't saved me, I would have been headed straight to hell. Peeling shrimp shells, thinking I was living the life. Fornicating with different women, ain't think twice. Causing my brothers to stumble, then laughed and told them they're tripping. Man, I had that that kept them high, that was the mission. Surrounded by killers, drug dealers, and low lives. Always had a car, but felt like I had no drive. Always heart in my heart, it stayed colder than black ice. I couldn't see it, that's why I kept backsliding, I living right. Thank you for sending your son, cause I was sinning for fun. Hitting the blunt, sipping the cup till I was pissy drunk. Stumbling, barely keeping my balance. I prayed the Father gave me strength to overcome that evil challenge. And he was faithful, I asked and I received. Got down on my knees, repented and now I see.